At 90, that man was running a race young people will not run. I mean, because did 1 whole month on the mountain with the Lord, fasting, no food, no water, nothing, dry. Came down, broke the law, and the Lord said, come up. To climb physically alone is not a joke for children. 80-year-old man went up there again, climbed up, got there, began the fast again, and got the handwriting of God, the Almighty himself. You talk about signatures of men. Moses had the handwriting of God. Few men confronted that man. He said to them, no man confronts me like that and died natural death. He said, if God called me, he said, Korah, Dathan, and Abiram will not die a natural death. And the heaven said, done. The ground opened and swallowed them up. All those great feats were not done at 40. It was not done at 80. The man was already entering into his 100. At 120, Bible says his eyesight was sharp. That's beyond biological analysis. So on biological dimension, the older you become, the weaker you become. In the spiritual, the older you become. Look at the scripture. Look at the longer they live. What happened to them? The brighter they shine. So old age in the spiritual is a benefit. It's not a disadvantage. One day Caleb went to Moses and said, Moses, you remember what God told me and you in Kadesh Barnea? How he said that, went to Joshua and said to Joshua, you remember how the Lord said to us that me and you, we will step into the land of Canaan. He said, now we have gotten to Canaan as the Lord has said, but beyond that I have a request. And Joshua said, what do you want? Companion, faithful companion. He said, I found a piece of land where I want to settle my children and my great-grandchildren. Joshua said, you can have it. Where do you want? He said, it's a land of the mountains where Anaks are. Giants are there. Mountainous location. But that's what I want. Now, that's another old man making request for a mountain, the land of giants, at old age. At old age. Caleb was asking for the impossible place. That's not a gift for young people, but an old man was asking for it because he was operating by the law of the spiritual, not the law of the natural. But the law of the spiritual, the older you become, the stronger it is. That's what that scripture says. So it definitely means that when Caleb was asking Joshua for the impossible place at old age, he was announcing to everyone who cares to listen that it is possible to be old and stronger. Not old and strong, old and stronger. So we have a precedent of what we're talking about. In Genesis chapter 17, in verse 1, and man of God, I'm going to come back to the scriptures because I'd like to pray with you on it. In Genesis chapter 17, verse 1, and when Abraham was 90 years old and 9, 99.